I'm Jennifer Marie Keller. Welcome to my Diary of a Pregnant Artist series. I just finished up my 34th week of pregnancy. This week has been pretty good. I'm letting myself sleep a lot more because sleep is becoming more elusive at night, so I'm letting myself sleep in a lot, and then also I'm just getting tired a lot more easily since I'm like towards the end of my pregnancy now. But I got more work done, which is good. This week, still working on this study. And now I really like the direction that this is going in a whole bunch, and I'm figuring out a lot of stuff with this painting study, which is great. I wanted to finish it this week, but the painting layer is taking a bit too long to dry, and I want it to be completely dry before I put another layer over it. I just want to work on the base one more, and some other, like the whole thing, I guess, just one more time so I can really clean up stuff with the face and also get some really interesting brushwork in there. And so one big thing I've noticed with me changing up my painting practice with being pregnant, with changing all my materials to be non-toxic, one thing has been the drying times for my paintings have really changed, because before I was using a toxic medium, which is linseed oil boiled with lead, which is either called boiled linseed oil or black oil. And so when you use that for a medium, it shortens the length of time for drying time, so your paints dry a lot faster. But now I'm doing the non-toxic medium, which right now I'm just doing plain linseed oil, which actually then lengthens the time of your paints drying. And so when I'm working on smaller pieces like that portrait study, it's nice for me to work on a lot of different things at the same time, so I can have one day where I'm working and I work on that painting of that portrait study, and then while that is drying for like the next days, I can be working on something else. At the start of my pregnancy, I was working on this really big 4x6 painting, or 4x5 painting, I mean, and that wasn't really an issue. I was still using the linseed oil and the drying times were the same, like taking a while, but since the painting's so big, I can work on different areas as different parts of the painting are drying. But I am finding it nice to kind of bounce around works while layers are drying on something, then I work on a different painting, because I feel like if I'm working on one painting day after day for weeks or even months, if I want to change things to it or just seeing it with fresh eyes gets a little bit tricky, and like changing things, I'm not picking up on those things so quickly. So it's actually kind of nice taking a break from one piece while I work on another piece. So then everything stays, seems like it's staying really fresh, like one day of a break from my portrait study and then going back to the portrait study, then like I see it with fresh eyes, so then I know exactly what I want to do. And so everything's working out, and even if it's sometimes annoying waiting for paint layers to dry, I always try and put a positive spin on it if I can, so I feel like everything's working out for me well, and it's just keeping painting then just staying really fun and enjoyable. I also had a doctor's appointment this week for my baby, and everything is still going really, really well. No complaints. I'm healthy, and so is my baby is perfectly healthy, so that's always good and super reassuring. I was talking with my doctor that his movements have changed from being kind of more fast kicks and jabs to now his movements are a lot slower and a lot stronger. And she was saying as the baby gets bigger and less room for him to move around, he kind of changes from karate to something more like Tai Chi. So when I'm painting, I'm focusing in on that. I don't notice his movements so much anymore since they're slower, but they are a lot stronger. So he will do this thing where I can feel him slowly stretching out, and then his leg or something like gets really pushed up into my rib, which is a bit uncomfortable. Also this week I've noticed some pregnancy symptoms has changed, and it's because he's moving down in my abdomen lower. So before I was carrying him up really pretty high and so I had really bad acid reflux, which was bad for sleeping because when you're laying down that makes acid reflux worse. And then also just working throughout the day is really, really distracting. But now that he's moving down, helps that a whole bunch, and I feel like I'm breathing easier. But now that he's lower, I have to get up to use the restroom a lot more. But yeah, now that it seems like he keeps moving a little bit lower and my due date's around the corner, it's getting pretty exciting. And so I'm trying to get as much work done as I can because I've set this goal for things I want to get done before the due date, which I don't know if I can get that done or not, but I'm trying to do that while still having fun and not making myself like work too much and like make myself sick that way. But I'm still taking plenty of time too to just lay down when my baby's more active and then just be like enjoying and feeling his slow movements that he does.